Hey, everybody, welcome to Happy Hour with Laura. I'm Tanya Stanley. Hey, everyone. So, we finally have Laura on the
Hi.
show. Hi, Laura. Welcome.
Thank you for having
I also want to introduce you to our follower who has been chosen to speak with you, Aarathi Sunil, and she's also part of the
Hi.
show.
me. Hi.
Laura is part of the fashion and the modeling industry. And what makes her special is that she is a curve model. So, in the current situation where everyone's battling with whatever you see outside in the superficial world, it's hard to maintain that inner confidence. And that is what Laura does. She uses this platform and she's an influencer that talks about how beauty comes in all shapes and sizes and about what confidence exactly is. How exactly did you enter this whole industry? Was this something that you always dreamt about, or was this like a complete surprise?
My core job, I used to work in marketing for like a big multinational back in Switzerland for like 5 years. And at some point, with my now husband, we wanted to just change country and see something else. So we moved here in Dubai a year and a half ago. And at that time, I felt like I wanted to do something else with my life, something more creative that looked a bit more like me. Not that I wasn't doing something creative, but just something new, right? And back in 2015, I always wanted to be a model. But I think in 2015, the market was not ready because I went to a lot of agencies in London, in Switzerland, in France. I've done a lot of casting, but none of them were interested with my profile at that time. Not because my profile was not interesting, but because there wasn't enough work. The market was just not ready. So I was like, okay, 5 years ago, it wasn't possible. Let's try now. So I tried first in Germany because for the plus size market, I would say the strongest market to make money to
Hmm.
work basically is in the UK and Germany. So I started again. I sent out my profile to a lot of agencies, and I participated to a it was a contest on social media on Instagram
Okay.
with by IMG, which is like the
Hmm.
biggest modeling
Yeah,
agency, IMG,
that's right.
and they were looking for new models. I was like, okay, why not? So I just put a few hashtags on my pictures, and actually, there was an agent who contacted me from IMG Worldwide, and they were interested in my profile. And at that time, I was like, okay, it's not the right time to travel all around the world since I already had, my boyfriend at that time. And it was a good encouragement for me. It was a good sign. So
Hmm.
I sent out my profile to, I would say, 10 agencies. And four of them came back to me right away, like within 2 days, saying, yes, we want to see you. We want to sign you. I was like, okay, woo, what's happening? So, and this is how it started. So I signed with an agency in Germany without seeing them. They just wanted to sign me. So it's not just,
Wow.
you don't have to go on a casting and be present like physically to be signed, not always.
Hmm.
So, and this is how it happened. So I got signed in Germany. I did a few jobs in Germany, and then I moved to Dubai. And I was like, okay, so let's do that here because I feel like my profile could fit the region as well, and it did. So I was signed with two agencies here. Well, I'm not signed, just registered, and yeah.
Wow, that's such an interesting story. I already have so many questions about it.
Amuses me how models are so active on the scene, backstage. They're just enjoying the whole process. That's the whole thing. Like, how do you guys enjoy it while you're working? How does it feel for you guys? Because normally work is not really enjoyable when you're doing backstage of it. Like it's always tense and, and what you see on these TV channels and everything. Like, I used to be a huge fan of Project Runway and all these fashion shows that happen on TV, and I'll be like, wow, these models are really under so much pressure. Like, does that really happen, or is it just an exaggerated thing that we see? What really goes around in the backstage?
So I feel like when we picture the fashion industry, it's really like a tensed and very like we are under a lot of pressure, and maybe like the mood is a bit bitchy sometimes. It's true. It's true. But I can assure you, it's not always. It depends with who you're working with and
Yeah.
what you're putting out there, because what you put out there, you get back. So I think there is. And that's something I always say. I don't understand why sometimes models on shoot are like they're in their bubble and they don't even talk to anyone. They don't. They're not interested in knowing anyone, and they're just like they're here to do their job. But this is not how I picture how I see this job. And I think because I chose it like late in my life, kind of, because I didn't start it at 16. By the way, that's a point that I would like to
Oh,
talk about.
wow.
I started modeling at the age of 28.
Wow.
I know, right?
Honestly.
When you're from an Indian community, you're dead. It's like that's it. Now just make babies and then you're done. I mean, there's nothing much anyone expects out of you. So there's just so much we can learn from Laura. The fact that she's not given up at that point and the passion is still there. There's still that fire at that age.
But my parents are like a melting pot. My mom is from France, so she's mixed
Wow.
and Spain. And my dad is black. He's from Mauritius Island, but there is so many mixes of races. I love it.
Yeah.
Like you can see Indian and Chinese
Honestly.
together. It's just amazing. But my dad is African and Indian both. So
Wow.
yeah,
Where it's not about the brands. Confidence cannot be bought. What exactly is confidence?
people and everything, but you have to be good about yourself first. But I would say being confident is knowing your strength and your weaknesses, because no one is perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not. Once you do that and you allow yourself to not be perfect, nor even try to be perfect, then life is super easy. I swear to you. For me, confidence, I mean, it comes from so many things. Like, first, for me, and it's the most painful work, it comes from within, from your childhood and all the childhood traumas and the experience you lived during your life. Because we all lived small or big traumas. We all did. Like, I don't know, just an example, something small, like your mother not supporting you for a side activity, a parascolar activity, or something like that, that might like trigger like a self-confidence,
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that I mean, small or big traumas, we all have to work on them. So that's painful and that's a long process to do, but we have to be aware of that. And only after you worked on yourself and on even on your system values, because your family give you kind of system values, but so do the culture in which you grew up with, you grew up in. But then there is another work that you need to do, is that accepting or not the values you were given. uh, so all of that combined makes who you are and who you want to showcase to the world. And I would say, once you know who you are, what the values you believe in, what are the values you believe in, then only you can love yourself and truly feel confident. It's normal that we want to compare ourselves to others and to others, females and everything. I had to do this work when I was like 10 years old, but you might have to do it now, even at 30, 40 years old. What I had to go through is basically, I grew up in Switzerland in a very small village where I was the only mixed race kid. The other girls were white with straight hair, blue eyes, and I always felt like I didn't belong. I wasn't like the others. So I always was this, black sheep at some point in my life when I grew up. So I had to understand, plus the fact that I was the only one, that my mom is white. So I didn't have that, like, a, a woman to look up to in terms of beauty and, just, I wasn't like her. I didn't look like her. I didn't look like the other girls. So I had to learn very, very early in my life to accept that there are different type of beauty. So first, accept that it's okay not to be like everyone else. Actually, it's amazing. First. Secondly, I hope you can understand it's very important that there is a variety in beauties, that we cannot all look the same, otherwise it would be super, super boring. That if we all like the same thing, we would all be single. So stop it.
True.
So there is that. Then back to the main question for the modeling industry. I remember the first time I went for a casting here in Dubai, and I was the only plus size. At that casting, we were like maybe 50 waiting in the corridor, and I was the only one coming. I inhaled, I looked around, and I laughed. I mean, not out loud, but I laughed, and I was like, okay, this is how it's gonna look like. Okay, because the modeling, the plus size modeling industry, the curve modeling industry isn't very well established yet. So I always have to break boundaries. I feel like I'm always breaking boundaries right now. I love it, but it's challenging. But I never, again, since I had to do that work very early in my life, I understood we have to look at ourselves in the mirror, look at what kind of beauty we have, and just accept it and love it. And if you have to look up for, we always follow celebrities to, just to keep up with the trend, the makeup, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Just like, example, Kim Kardashian, beautiful woman, but she doesn't look like me. So I'm not going to compare myself to her. It's like if you were going to compare yourself to Gigi Hadid, beautiful woman, but blonde blue eyes. Why would I compare myself to her? Nor compare my body to hers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just find your inspiration, but something that looks like you, please.
Become a plus model? Can Aarti become a plus model? How is it?
What is your size? I cannot tell from like the
Oh,
screen, but
it depends on the size. Okay, fine. So if
what?
you're
Yeah.
size 14 or 12,
12 you can. 14, yes, honey, you can.
oh my God, Aarti, I can be a plus model, but I sometimes I fit into
I'm
12
getting
as
there.
well. You're
Okay,
getting there.
I would say there are multiple points to take into consideration. So first, there is the age. So obviously, you do not have to start at the age of 16 to be a plus size model. I started at the age of 28, and it's completely fine, as long as you have the energy and the will to do it and to do what it takes to do it, because it's a lot of work, obviously. So yes, a lot of models will start at the age of 16, 17, but I would say do not stress about the age. Finish your studies, like secure the bases, and then let's talk about it. Minimum height in general for regular plus size, so straight size plus size, the regular size is a 5'6", 172 centimeters.
Okay, that's
I'm
fine.
a 158, 178
Aarti and I got
centimeters.
Wow.
rejected already, right, Aarti?
Already. Yeah.
We
That's
already.
my point. I'm coming to you now.
Oh,
There is another category. There is the petite, so meaning smaller model, but I haven't seen petite plus size model yet. Something to do. There is a space. I'm just saying.
we. You're right. So Aarti and I are the petite plus size model.
Next petite
Uh,
plus size
we
model.
would have to break another stereotype, Aarti, and
Yeah.
that would require, I don't think
A whole new market.
a whole
I,
new.
I think it's needed because there are so many women who are short and plus size, and they need to see how it fits on the model as well.
I had watched this TED talk by Ashley Graham where she talks about how she gets offended when they call her a plus model. Does it offend you?
Every time I have to introduce myself to a shoot where I don't know no one, where I know nobody, I have to tell them. If I tell them, like so many times, people are coming to me like, "Are you a model?" Yes, I'm a model, plus size model. You know, like we are so many models on shoot, and they were like, "Are you a model?" Like, yeah. You know, and you have to explain you are the plus size model. So yes, I do get where she's coming from. But to be frank, I don't mind. Either plus size curve is okay. Of course, I would prefer just the same model for people to understand that yes, there are so many different type of model. Yes, of course, I would prefer for people to just say model. But because us humans, we've always needed boxes. It's a way for us to try to understand the complexity of the world. So you have to be like the bigger person in that type of situation. Our obsession with putting things in boxes is very limiting for ourselves and for everyone around us. But we need to learn to relabel these boxes and create new ones. But again, I think it takes time, and we're such at the beginning of the plus size modeling industry and just different type of modeling that it's okay for now if we still have to, you know, explain to people. I think it's okay.
You're
But
the generation that is bringing about the change, because now it's like even regular people, they want to see that sort of a diversification that is done in brands, without which they would not be able to associate with the brands. It's just become so important that the brands diversify the models and they diversify the people that represent the brand so that everybody can relate to them. And that's such a wonderful age that we are in.
Does your marketing background really help you with your current career choice?
definitely, I think I think I look at myself as a product every time I have to sell the product. Like you really you cannot be like I don't take things personally whether a client doesn't like my image or doesn't like. I don't take it personally. It's just business. You're a product. That's it. Really. Like my core job is marketing, so of course I will always look at myself as a product. But this is definitely something anyone would like to start in the modeling industry should do as well. You need to highlight something interesting about you that make you different, even if it's unconventional. Something interesting. I don't know, like unconventional because you want to stand out, like the bushy eyebrows of Cara Delevingne, or I don't know, like a gap in your teeth, or maybe do you have vitiligo? For my side, it's the curly hair and the freckles that usually people like because it's not usual. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's basically it helps you define what you can do in the modeling industry. Like, would you like to do something more editorial, high fashion? Do you think you have the profile for that? Or do you feel like you could do more commercial work? Meaning, do you look more like girls on ASOS or Pretty Little Thing, or do you look like girls on that are on editorial on Vogue? This is how you can really define what you're gonna work in, what you will be good at, basically.
Question to you, Laura. If you have to give any advice to the girls who are following us, all the girls who are look up to you, what would you tell them? The girls who suffer from self-esteem, from confidence, or basically what your life motto is. Just what do you want to tell them as an advice?
So I think we talked a bit about this at the beginning, but I would say my life motto is your energy introduces yourself before you even speak. So make sure you,
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true.
so make sure you work on yourself first, because this is the hardest part. But trust me, once you're done with this and you're happy with who you are, you're happy with your values, you know who you are, and you can give the best to people. I mean, this energy is, it's gonna flow. Like whenever you put out there, it's gonna come back. Whether maybe it's not modeling that will work, and it's fine. Maybe something even better will come out, of this work. So for me, it all comes from within. Really, it's not about having the perfect teeth, the perfect nose. No, no, because nowadays people want unconventional beauties. Really, no, it's way more than that.
Is you, and then just conquer the world. Thank you so much, Namshi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Aarti. Bye.
Bye.